Hey guys, I'm Jacqueline Zacharias with Zacharias Horsemanship. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to start teaching collection on your horses. So there are two sides of collection. There's mental collection and there's physical collection. I'm mainly going to be addressing physical collection in this video, but I do want to talk a little bit about mental collection and why it's so important to achieve that before you start working on the physical side of it. So mental collection is when I can move my horse out at all three gaits, walk, trot, and lope, and a consistent speed to where they're not surging, speeding up, slowing down, and to where they have good impulsion as well. They also have to be able to be willingly guided and not have any magnets around the arena where they're dropping their shoulders in or speeding up to get to one spot or another. The way to achieve this is to spend a lot of time cruising on your horse, and I spend a lot of time on these young horses. I'll bring them out here and just pitch them away on a loose rein at a lope or a jog, and I want them to maintain a consistent speed. So if they start to speed up, I'll gently pick up, I'll bring them back to the speed I want, and then pitch them away again, and do that over and over again. If they have a magnet on one side of the rein, I'll take them to the opposite side of the rein, and I'll just keep on jogging or loping, whatever I'm doing, and I always make sure to go back to that neutral position. So they have to start taking a little bit of accountability for what they're doing. And what this does is it really builds some responsibility on that horse about what speed they're going, and helps them to get into a much more neutral frame of mind, so they're maintaining that speed without me constantly having to babysit them. So it's very important that you develop great mental collection before working on physical collection. Another thing that's very important to be mindful of is that your horse can take a leg before you start working on physical collection. If you lay your leg and that horse's first response is to speed up or squirt off, if you're at a trot and he wants to go into a lope or a lope and he just goes faster and faster, then you're going to have a huge hole there because that horse, again, hasn't figured out how to maintain his own speed. And we're going to be using our legs a lot to lift that back, to ask the horse to lengthen. If he can't do that without trying to charge forward, then you're going to have a problem there. Physical collection is where we get the horse to lift that back, round that top line, and shift that weight back under those haunches so they're prepared for whatever maneuver we may ask them to do. So it takes a lot of time and muscle development for a horse to learn to maintain collection consistently. The first step we need to take in helping him get there is to get him soft through the body. And the way I'm going to do that is to go right here into this bending exercise. And we cover this exercise in other videos, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but I'm going to show you how I use it to help achieve collection. The reason this is so great is because I can use this inside leg here to soften this rib cage, and when I put the horse on an arc like this, it helps to stretch the muscles on the outside of that horse's body and lengthen over there, okay? So when I get this really nice bend going here, what almost automatically happens is that horse starts to relax and lengthen there. Our end goal is to get the horse relaxed in his top line so that he can pick up his back, and that's why this works so well to achieve that. We can kind of break the horse up there a little bit, work a little bit on both sides, and then we put it all together to get them to soften that top line really nicely. I'm going to go ahead and go to the right now. I'll just wait here a little bit. I'm using my inside leg a little bit more. There we go. That's what I'm looking for right there. What you don't want to do is to get to where your horse is like stiff as a board right through here, and then the face is kinked over here or something like that, or to where the hip is falling out or the shoulder's falling out. Make sure you have a lot of consistent energy and a really nice arc on that horse there. If you don't have enough softness, use that inside leg to get a little bit more bend and get the horse to really stretch on the outside here. There it is. It's very nice. There we go. All right, we'll go back to the left for a moment. Notice how my horse is really maintaining some nice energy there. She's on a pretty loose rein. She's just maintaining a very consistent speed, and that's where that mental collection really comes into play. There we go. All right, that's beautiful. Really stretch those outside muscles. I'll go ahead and bring her down here. Good job. Okay, so now that I have that horse to where she's soft through her body, she's really lengthening really nicely on both sides, I'm going to go ahead and squeeze both legs here. Just ask for her to soften a little bit in the chin. I'm going to take the exercise I just did. I'm going to squeeze with both legs and just gently with my pinkies here, with my pinkies here, squeeze those reins and ask the horse to just soften her chin and lengthen her top line, okay? What I want you guys to be very careful of with this, I'll just wait till I get just a baby step right there. There it is. There we go. What I want you guys to be very careful of here is that you don't let the horse raise its head up, soften it past the vertical, and let it keep running straight through the bit, okay? I see a lot of people that think collection is simply either a headset or softening the chin, breaking at the poll, and that's very dangerous. When I first started training, that's obviously the way I tried to do it too, and I thought I had collection on my horses and they would soften and they were running around like this and they're real soft and everything. But what I found was that later when I started trying to advance certain maneuvers and get lead changes and turn my horses around and stuff, they were so far hidden behind the bit that I couldn't actually get any alignment for any sort of maneuver. So be very sure that you're getting that horse to lengthen in the top line while he softens his chin, okay? And we don't want a huge exaggeration of that softness, that break at the poll. Just enough, kind of get them on the vertical a little bit. If they're slightly past it, that's okay. But none of this tucking the chin to the chest or raising the head up and tucking the chin. Lengthen that top line. That's the most important thing you need to focus on here. We want just a little bit of softness on the chin to be sure that there's no brace there. I'll go ahead and trot her back up here. And I'll kind of stay on a circle here. I really like to work on some sort of a circle, whether it's a small circle or a large circle. I like to kind of stay on a circle regardless. I'm just going to squeeze here. You can see she's kind of confused about it. She's raising up. I'm just going to, there it was, there. I'll leave her alone. I'll go ahead and squeeze again. Gently squeeze with my pinkies. Ask her to just kind of drive into that bit a little bit. There it was. All right, we'll do it again. She's a little confused. There we go. She's starting to hump for it now. Go ahead and squeeze again. There, that was instant. Good job. She's dropping that shoulder a little bit, so we'll go back to that. Squeeze. Squeeze, wait for it. There we go. Good job. If at any point you're working on this and you kind of have that, you have those reins picked up and you're squeezing and that horse just starts moving out a little too fast and hiding behind the bit, just go back, stop your horse, gently back them up, remind them what those reins mean, and force your brakes a little bit and then go back to your collection. You don't want to get so focused on working on the softness and collection that you let your horse forgets how to use his brakes. So be sure that you keep those connected, keep those reins connected to the feet. We just make contact ever so lightly to remind the horse what we're asking for. We're not making this big pulling motion and dragging him into the ground or trying to muscle him into that. Just gonna squeeze here, wait, there it is. There it was. What I like to tell people, this makes it a lot easier when I say lengthen in the top line, I like them to focus on this right here. Instead of so much focusing on the pull, I like you to focus on the withers and think about the break happening here instead of at the pull, okay? So I'm gonna walk her back off here, and you'll notice when I squeeze, start paying attention to what those withers do. You see she's already dropping down there and relaxing that neck there. Now I don't want the horse to end up falling on his front end or anything. That's not what I'm telling you guys. But when you're working on this, if you do focus on getting them to soften there and break at the withers instead of at the pull, that's gonna help you out a lot more. Okay, I'm gonna squeeze. Wait for her to settle. Wait, she's raising up. She's not sure what to do with that. There it was. I know you guys can't see that with the camera angle, but we'll try it again over here. I squeeze, she wants to kind of go forward. That's when I'm gonna break her back down. Do you see this delayed response in the feet there? That's not a good thing to have, okay? I'm gonna remind her what those reins mean again. Remind her that the leg doesn't mean go faster. There we go. All right, we'll go ahead and walk off here. Gently bump, bring her back up to that trot, and we'll try it again. All right, squeeze. She's moving out a little bit faster. We're gonna have to go and stop. There we go. Trot her back up again. There it was, there. Squeeze, there we go. See, she's softening the chin a little bit too much there without lengthening her back. And I didn't really like that, but at the same time, it was effort on her part. There we go. All right, we're gonna go ahead and go to the left here. She's wanting to drop her shoulder quite a bit there, so I'm just gonna stand her up and push her back out. stand her up, push her back out. I like how she's relaxed here. She's relaxed in the top line right now, but there's a lot of things falling down, and you don't want to confuse that with collection. I see that a lot of the time too, is that people think, oh, my horse is collected. Well, just because it's down on the front end doesn't mean your horse is achieving collection. Being relaxed in the top line is a great first step, but it's not the only step. All right, we want them to be able to lift their shoulders and soften. There we go. But at this stage in training, this horse is pretty green. I'm not expecting all that from her. I just want to see these moments of greatness where this clicks. This is almost like doing crunches, you know. We want to practice the exercise and then release. Practice the exercise and then release. It takes a lot of muscle development for a horse to be able to hold this the whole time they're working. And you definitely don't want to be asking for it too long at this stage of training. Go ahead and squeeze there. She's pushing against me just a little bit. There it was. Go ahead and squeeze. That was immediate. It's getting a little bit low there, but that's okay. Pick her back up, move her back out. There we go. Squeeze again. There it is. Atta girl. That's great. That's fantastic. Good girl. Okay guys, so that's how I typically like to start teaching collection on these young horses. I do want to leave you guys with a few points before you click off this video. One thing to remember with that bending exercise, be sure you spend a lot of time doing that, because that is the most important thing, is that you get them soft through that rib cage. And on top of what I mentioned in the beginning about softening off the inside leg, you also want to be sure that your horse is lengthening the outside muscles on the outside rib cage. Sometimes I'll see people try to do this exercise and they'll have the horse kinked up in a funny way to where his head is bent like this, but he's not actually stretching his body. So you want to be sure it's a really nice, consistent arc all the way through that. And it can take some time, especially on these bigger, boxier type horses, for them to get that stretch and those outside muscles. So be sure that you're not asking too much at once of your horses. Work on that a while, get them soft, get them consistent before moving on to the next phases of collection. One more thing, like I mentioned earlier in the video, it's very, very important that you don't get those horses too soft where they're hiding behind the bit or running through that bit and you've lost the connection between the reins and the feet. If you fall into this trap, it's very hard later on to get the horse aligned and straight for the other maneuvers that you're going to need to teach. I would actually rather have one a little too stiff than too soft, because it is just so hard to go back and undo that after it's done. All right, I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below and I will be glad to get back to you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.